Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to remind you to like and subscribe. We're spending the hour with an amazing guest today, somebody who I'm just so pleased to have here on the air with us, a local artist and a brilliant mind. This is Rose Masterpol. So, thank you so much for coming on. It's the show where we talk about films, so we'll be spending some of the hour talking about your favorite films. But first, I mean, maybe you can give us a little bit of background about how you ended up in Santa Fe, you fell in love, you've done odd jobs.
Yeah. Um, I was in LA for 27 years. And when met my partner, we were both like, we got to get out of here. We're getting old and it's too busy, too crazy, and enough time there. So we started, looking around and doing some research on different cities. We knew we wanted to be in a smaller city. And we were thinking about Portland, Boulder. We just named all these cool little places we've heard of, and it had to have food and art, so that was really important. And Santa Fe just kept coming up on our radar. Honestly, I would see a car. There's a car Hyundai makes, it's Santa Fe. Then we'd see a plate and said Santa Fe, and then everything was Santa Fe. So now we're just like, let's go to Santa Fe. So we came to Santa Fe, and we did fall in love with it. And we came back one more time a year later, and decided we would move maybe in 2 to 5 years. But honestly, we couldn't wait, so we moved in like in a year. We moved here 2014, and we've been here since. It's about 8 years now, and we love it. And so it's been good to us. It's an inspiring, beautiful place to live. Easy. It's just super easy. And doing my work here, which making my paintings and being creative it's a great place because it's just so beautiful. Every day it changes. The weather is incredible. The skies are incredible. I mean, I'm just always in awe about certain things in Santa Fe, and definitely the skies are a huge inspiration.
So, tell us a little bit about your work. I mean, were you a huge hit in LA as well, or did you become the Rose Masterpol, the name we know now, here in Santa Fe? When did that start to take off, and what was going on in your life at the time?
Mm. Yes, that all started in LA. I've been painting for about 30 years now, so it's been a long, long, long career of pushing and growing and evolving, personally, and the work is just the kind of side by side growing and moving forward. My work is abstract paintings. It's called the Geometric Series, and they're very clean shape, color field paintings, basically shapes, transparent shapes on top of each other. They just are these living, breathing, beautiful, even sensual paintings, and they're a little difficult to do, but it's okay. So I was already the Rose Masterpol before I got here, and the reason why I could come here in a way was because I felt like, okay, I feel secure and in my career and where I'm going and where I've been. And this jump isn't going to hurt me. It's going to be actually a better thing. So, yeah, my career has been a very long career, but it started to get kind of really good in the past, I would say 10 years, but then the last few years have been exceptional. So I feel very grateful and fulfilled, and it's a dream come true for whole life. Since I was about 14, I knew I would be a painter. So to be where I am right now just feels like, wow, a dream. It's a dream. So anyhow, I'm happy.
And you've got a really supportive partner, I know. Was she instrumental in all of that and making that move and taking those chances? Did that bring
Yes.
the two of you closer?
Yes, it brought us closer. She's creating her own way and cooking and stuff, but she definitely has a creative eye, and so she's able to help me. Sometimes she'll say, "Oh, I don't like that corner. Fix it," or "You keep working on it." She's so funny. Anyhow, yes, she was instrumental from the very beginning of our relationship because I was working as an art director in an agency, so I could only really paint maybe in the evening or on the weekends. And then that job in the 2009, with the crash and everything, they were letting people go left and right. And I was one of those people. She's like, "Well, you're just going to paint full time now." I was like, "Oh, yes, I am." So she was supportive in many ways to get me working full time in the studio. And so kudos to her, and just very helpful in writing and everything I needed to do for my career. She was right there to assist me. And she's just very smart. And so I'm very lucky, lucky to have her on my side.
So you've even sold cars.
I was in graphic design. I would freelance. So I'd freelance home, then I would have a real job in an agency. Then I would freelance, and I was painting in between. And one day I was like, I am so sick of graphic design. I really need to do something else for a little while. And I really do. I am so into cars. It sounds funny, but I have a car fetish. And I've had it since I was really small. I would play with Matchbox cars and really good friends. And they're like, "Oh, just come and work with us." So I didn't go to Saab first. I went to Volvo across the street, and the hours were nuts. The pay was great. So even though I was good at it and people liked me, and it was, and I just knew about cars. So it was easy for me to talk about the cars, learn about the cars quick, and sell cars. So that was cool. And then they were like, "Oh, you need to come over to Saab." So I was like, "Oh my God, let's go to Saab." So I went to Saab, and then I got back on track with the graphic design and realized I'm a very lucky person to be able to do graphic design. So went back.
So what kind of cars were you selling?
Volvo first, and then Saabs.
So say you want to put
Saabs
me
they
in,
don't make anymore.
yeah, say you want to put me in a Volvo. What do you remember your pitch? Can you remember what you used to say in those days to put someone in let them know a Volvo was gonna be the right ride for them?
You know, I was very natural person. It was very natural for me, and it was very natural for the people that came to Volvo, for instance, because they already were Volvo people or they were Saab people. So maybe they went and test drove a BMW, but so when they came in, they already knew they loved Volvo. I didn't really have to do much, but just say, "Okay, what size car do you want? Blah blah blah." And let's go for a test drive. And then we would just talk about life. We'd talk about the car, honestly, because they already loved cars. It was a no-brainer to buy a Volvo. It still isn't. It's a no-brainer to have to love that car.
I think it's a rare combination, an artist that can also be a salesperson, and you seem to be able to have both of those within you. But also being a business person and an artist, has that been something you've struggled with at times?
Mhm.
Have there been people along the way that have kind of had the business sense that lost in your shapes and designs and art, you don't really also see the P's and Q's of something like a spreadsheet or whatever it may be.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the good thing I had under my belt was the graphic design because I could make a brochure for myself. I could, know, fix the images in Photoshop. I could do whatever I needed to do to promote myself, make flyers, do all that stuff, websites. But the business side was the most difficult part of my career. I did grow into that business side, but it's taken me years. And yes, I've had people, some mentors here and there. They came and went, and thank God for those people, because sometimes it's very lonely and you feel dumb or you feel like, "Oh my God, I could be ahead more if I knew more." And I don't feel like going to take a business class because that's just not what's going to happen. But you just kind of read and learn as you go. I mean, it's like learning on the job, right? You're just learning as you go. And now I feel like, yes, I'm good at it now. I could be better, but you know, I got to focus on the art. So yeah, it's been a school. It's been a school.
You and I connected immediately. You're kind of one of those people who um, I just think there's so much there, and once you kind of get going, it's really easy to listen to you. So, um, you've got a lot of cool friends here in town, and so many friends who have helped you along the way. Um, I guess first tell us where we can buy your work, and then maybe you can talk about some of the people who have been supportive of your work. We could give them a little shout out.
Oh, well, I show here at New Art in Santa Fe, at Merritt Gallery in Baltimore, Maryland. New York, Atlanta, I don't have to name the galleries necessarily, but Prior in Atlanta, Merritt, Baltimore, Cheryl Hazan, New York, Vail, Colorado, Artful Soul. So got a lot of galleries to fill.
And that's New Art on Canyon Road. It's right next to Geronimo.
Yes, it's a couple doors down from Geronimo. It's a beautiful gallery with two giant windows in the front, hard to miss gallery. And actually, Robert Downey Jr. just bought a painting from that gallery, one of mine. So I was very happy about that. That was an exciting moment.
That's so cool, and I'm so glad that he's a fan of your work, as you know, we at the show are a fan of his work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, so you're showing all over the place: Vail, Colorado, New York, New York, here in Santa Fe at New Art Gallery, and more, even in Baltimore. And it's it's the kind of work that you know you can decorate your entire house with. It's the kind of work that you can just fall in love with one piece and think, okay, I've got to have this over my bed or over my couch. And I think it's not maybe what people come to Santa Fe looking to buy, but it's able to connect with the Santa Fe buyer on some level.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. You know, Santa Fe is number three in the art world in the U.S. It's New York, L.A., and Santa Fe. We have the most galleries here, maybe even more than LA. I mean, it's like ridiculous. So people do know that this is a hub for art and a hub for food. And if you like to hike and all that good stuff, but people, there's so many galleries that even if you're not looking for art, you will find something you like, because whether you like abstract work or landscapes or flowers or horses or, you know, animal scenes or coyote scenes or whatever, it's all here. It's all, I mean, you have every choice. There's everything. You have every kind of artistic choice you want. So it is interesting to, I don't know, it's just an interesting place and it's an interesting life. And I don't know, I'm just super happy to be here.
We brought you here largely to talk about your favorite movies. And you love biographies, you love drama. One of your top films is The Notebook, and that one is dear to me, of course, because the Santa Fe Independent Film Fest gave Jenna Rollins the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2015. We had her at the Lensic for a screening of A Woman Under the Influence, and George R. R. Martin presented her the award. It was a very cool time, and so many people knew her not from her career in the Cassavetes movies and the films of the 70s and 80s, but so much for her role in The Notebook. And The
Yeah,
Notebook, it's a love story. It's a time travel story.
I've seen it 5 or 6 times. I mean, like every couple of years I watch it because not only do I love biographical and drama, any kind of drama. I like to be stimulated a lot, but I do love. I'm a sucker for a love story. So that one is just triggers a lot, and yeah,
Yeah, and it's
just love.
a tear jerker. It's
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's an epic
and they're
love
both
story.
beautiful to look at. I mean, yeah, it's just a great movie, great story, great script, everything. It's just across the board.
So yeah, if you haven't yet, or even if you have, you could probably revisit it. Another one is Great Expectations. Now, which version is that? I've read the book. I love the book.
Yeah,
Um,
that's Ethan Hawke is the actor, the main, and Robert De Niro actually too. He's my cousin actually.
oh yeah,
I mean, his father, my father's mother is a De Niro, and her brother had Robert De Niro. So yeah, it's a whole thing.
wow.
Yeah, it's
Um,
interesting. But yeah, that movie, he's a painter, so of course I love it, but I just love the whole story. It's so weird and different and interesting. And, I don't know, that movie gets me too. It's just those classic, it's like classic to me. It's not classic old, but it's like, to me, it's become a classic movie in my life that I have to watch every couple of years. And Pollock too. I didn't even put Pollock on there. That is one of my number one movies. So maybe I have 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, because they're all right up there together. And yeah, that movie
yeah,
I watch once a year.
Yeah, Ed Harris is amazing in Pollock. I just
Oh,
love that.
oh, he
And
is extraordinary.
one recent one on your list, or relatively recent, is Molly's Game, starring Jessica Chastain, who just won the Oscar. And that's a film about playing poker. Are you a card player, Rose?
I've played poker a bit, and actually, I'm going to be joining a group next month of a gaggle of girls in my life, and they play poker, and so I have to get my game up. I got to practice and get back into it. So I'll be playing poker, yeah, once a month. That's going to be fun. I love it.
Yeah, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. So
That's correct.
maybe, yeah, maybe you and I can get together. I can give you a little few pointers.
Oh, that would
For
be awesome.
For example, they say shaky hands beware. So if your opponent has shaky hands, that's them releasing stress because they do have a good hand, not they're scared because they're bluffing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
we'll go through a bunch of those fun ones
Okay.
once we get the
That
chance.
sounds so much fun.
Everybody, we're talking with the artist Rose Masterpol. She lives here in Santa Fe. And, one other wonderful connection that we share is the amazing chef Hue-Chan Karels. And I think one of the first times that we crossed paths was at one of her Vietnamese New Year parties. And I don't know if when we were introduced this fall by Christina Vo, if we had put that together, but is she a dear friend of yours? Do you know her very well?
She is a dear person, and we don't know her extremely well, but we know her enough to know that we love her, and we love her food. We love her as a person. We were just at her birthday this past gosh, when was it? It was warm, so it must have been October. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, she's a great woman and talented person. And we're glad to know her. We met her when she first moved here. I don't know, through another friend, we met her. That's Santa Fe. You just meet one and the next one, the next person, the next person. Pretty soon, you know the whole darn city.
Yeah, I mean, she has such a mastery of so many different kinds of cuisine, and I
Yeah.
just love her delectable, tasty treats or the cute little seaweed wrapped cakes or whatever it
Mhm.
is.
And
Plus,
you're making me so hungry.
Plus, the wine is always amazing. Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Wei Chan and Open Kitchen because
Yes.
um, I can't get enough of her food, whether I'm just looking at pictures of it on the internet or actually getting the chance to taste it.
I know, and I'm a huge Asian fan, so any Asian food will do for me.
So let's see. We talked a little bit about where you came from, what brought you here. I also know you're extra fit. Can you tell me a little bit about how you stay so fit and what kind of training you're doing? Do you work with a personal trainer?
I do. This is the first time I've ever had a personal trainer. He's fabulous. I'll throw a shout out to Adrian Castro. He normally is over there training at Santa Fe Spa, and that's where I found him there. Basically, we didn't become friends or even acquaintances. Really, it would just be like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" at the gym, like just hi. And then I would see him at the grocery store, and I would just be like, "Hey," and he would go, "Hey." And then eventually, he's like, "Well, I want to collect your art, so can we do a trade here?" And I don't do that. And I'm telling you all out there, I don't do that, but I'm doing it because I need to get in shape and I don't want to go to a gym. So he comes to our house and he actually trains me and my partner. And he just was here. So yeah, I have to lift canvases and bring them upstairs and throw them around, move them around, juggle them. And I need to be fit. I just have to be fit for just my career alone. So not to mention just to be a healthy person on the planet and live a long, wonderful artist life. So yeah, he comes and we do a lot of strength training. It's a lot of weights and then we do the hikes and the running and other things, cardio on our own. But when he comes here, that's what we focus on. And so I'm just getting giant. It's I'm like, "No, pull it back just a little because I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I just want to stay really strong and just strong and fit so I can eat Wei Cheng's food."
Well, and what about food? Are you also into nutrition, or is it all just pumping iron?
No, no, I don't work with nutrition with Adrian, but I do eat very healthy and very well. And the two go together, honestly. I don't think you should do one without the other. It makes no sense. And this is a lifetime. We'll be using Adrian until we drop dead, basically, because the older you get, the more you do have to stay fit, or you just start to lose it, and then your bones become soft. So, food, absolutely, and working out with him is going to be a long haul. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you go to a lot of restaurants in town, or do you mostly cook at home?
I We go to restaurants maybe every other week or something. Once in a while, there's twice a week, but once a month, a few times a month. But Jessica's an incredible cook, so I'm very, very lucky. And she makes the Mediterranean. She's from Spain, so she makes Mediterranean dishes. I mean, paellas, risottos, just steak, but just it's all just amazing. Out of a cookbook type kind of food. And so I get to eat very healthy home. So when I go out, I still healthy, but I might just add a little something in there I shouldn't when I'm out. But I
Yeah,
love eating. I love the restaurants here.
and so Jessica, your partner's from Spain, and so I'm guessing you've been there together. And has she shown you around Spain in a pretty special way?
Yeah, we went there well, I've been there twice now. We went in I think 2011 for Christmas with her family, and then we went in September for 1 month. 2019 we went, and that's about as much as I've been to Spain. And she needs to go back too, so she'll have to go soon. And I don't know if I'll come. I don't know. I don't know if I'll go. I need to go to Italy right now. So
Yeah, I was in Italy in September, and I need to go back myself, but I don't know how soon.
yeah. I don't know how soon. It's just the COVID thing is still pretty gnarly over there in Europe. So I think we're going to wait a little while.
Yeah, I'm been doing quite a bit of traveling, and thank God, I've managed to stay healthy and not get sick.
Yeah.
Um, I know a lot of people have really suffered and gotten sick. It's been a really interesting 2 years. Were you able to channel some of that into your work and some of your, I think the angst that everybody was feeling, the kind of the going a little nuts, even that a lot of people or everybody was going through. Was that was your art real? Was that a real vehicle for you to push some of that energy into?
Um, Not really. I mean, my schedule and the way I work is just the same as it was when it was COVID because I work in my studio at home. So I just go downstairs and maybe I worked a little more because there was nothing else to do. But I had some angst, but it didn't last that long. I don't know why. I think I just flipped right to, okay, this is how it is, and we just have to deal with it. And I think the two worst things about the COVID, not to do with my work, but was always wearing a mask. I can't stand wearing the mask. And the other one was that I actually got COVID, and I was sick for a month and a week. And I think symptoms are still come in and out sometimes. I'm like, why is I can't breathe? Oh my God. And it's not allergies. I know how I am with allergies. And so I feel like if I run myself down, I feel like these symptoms kind of come back a little bit. So those are the two things. And just the beginning of COVID is difficult because just people were, just passing away. So many, so fast. It's just scary. So I think I was on a very specific track with my work. So I don't think or feel that it came in and diverged or converged in any way, in any negative way, or even in a different kind of positive way. I think I was just so focused that it didn't touch anything I was doing creatively. I'm lucky. I can't hear you. Ah,
Oh, sorry. So yeah, I think everybody's been through kind of a strange couple of years, and thank God you recovered well. I'm sorry to hear you're still having some fatigue.
few
And
issues, yeah.
yeah, and I remember seeing you at that party and getting the message, and thinking, oh, she must be a hypochondriac, but it very much turned out you did have it. And
No, I was.
I thought, oh, there's something to
No, I
get.
like to be healthy and happy and run around and all the things. Have fun. I like to have fun. So being sick is just the opposite. Yeah, it's no.
Yeah, and God, that was a fun party. I think that was the Christmas party. And so,
Yeah.
do you find like sometimes in Santa Fe, I feel like it's Memorial Day and there's some party, and then it's just parties all the way through summer until Labor Day, and it's kind of hard to schedule them all. Do you get swept in that a little bit? Swept up in that a little bit?
Yeah, this we have a lot of friends and we are so grateful. And it's like almost every day we have something. And we have to actually say no because we need to rest, honey. We need to rest up and sit home and be with the dogs and just rest our bodies, our voices, and just lay off a glass of wine a little bit. So yeah, we get swept up in all of that. And it's fun though. And guess what? I live once. I mean, to me, I think we could keep coming back, but I only live once as me right now. So I'm gonna have fun and we don't know what the future holds. And I I live for the moment, let's just say. pretty much.
So, what about House of Gucci? Was it Lady Gaga? Was it the costumes? What about it made it so intriguing for you?
Well, it's the story of the Gucci story, the clothes, designer. So I didn't know the story at all. So, as I said, I'm just so into biographies and biographical movies. I just love learning about people's lives via the movies. And because especially when it's a good story, when they rise out of nowhere, like Phoenix, and to watch how it happened, it's just so inspirational to me. I don't know. I mean, I guess it is to everybody, right? But there's something for me to watch stuff like that. It gives me hope. It gives me a drive. It gives me that I can do that. It's you know, it just, you want to know how. I love to know how things work, anything, how something's made, a car's made. I don't know. I just love the query, the questioning. I love the story, what's behind it, who's behind it, how did that, what is that one, a moment where that thing transitioned into, the next, how it became the name, how did they get the name? What, well, it's a person's name, but like why, how, who got it, when? I mean, it's mesmerizing to me to learn those things. So just love it. Love people's life stories.
Yeah, and it's directed by Ridley Scott, one of the great directors. You know him from Alien. And
Hmm.
I can't wait to see it. I
Hmm.
haven't seen it yet, but he's one of those artists that I could watch anything by. Are you a fan of Lady Gaga's music or just her movies?
I wasn't for a long time. And then I don't know what happened. There's a song called Sign from Above, Sine, not Sign, same thing, I think, but Sign from Above. And she sings it with Elton John. It's like a duet type thing. And it's my favorite song in the whole world. And after that, I just started listening while I'm working, because really when I work, I would listen to instrumental music, Buddha Bar compilations, and just not, if there's any voices or words, it's very sporadic and just kind of groovy, and in just weaves inside and out. But I started listening to her because of that song mostly. And I just fell in love with almost every song. I mean, and they just play in my mind because I listen to her so much. So, and she inspires me. She is another person who inspires the heck out of me. I've watched her documentary. And when I listen to her work, I mean, her music, her lyrics, um, I, and her voice, and how she can do different, she can change it in different songs. It's so cool. Um, that I just think she is a genius. She is brilliant beyond, 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 beyond a lot of musical artists that I know. Um, but you got to give it a chance, and you have to really listen. You can't just be in the car and just like, and talking. No, if you really focus and listen to her work and her lyrics, I think she blows me away. And so she's another person who definitely inspires me.
Now, another one of your favorite films is I Am Woman. I'm not familiar with that one. Can you tell us a little about it?
Well, that's Helen Reddy. Do you know who she was? You're cutting out a little bit.
No, no, I don't know Helen Reddy.
You know Helen Reddy? I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore. Well, when I was growing up, the reason why I know her is because we were like a musical family, and we had a microphone and amp and the whole thing. And we would sing in the microphones, my brother and I, to Donnie and Marie, and I would sing to her songs all the time. So that's how I got to know her. And then she died recently, this past, I think, 2021, and they made a movie so quickly. Oh my God, it was like, bam, that movie is out. And so I've seen that movie twice already. And that's totally an inspiration. And seeing her from the ground up, like the struggle, the middle, and then famous as hell.
Well, and then the film about Freddie Mercury, that touched you as well. I think that kind of fits
Oh,
with what we've been talking about.
yeah. Well, we were crying all the way from our seats to the car. That's how moved we were. Because again, he was such a sensation and again, a genius, brilliant. What a voice. I mean, just anyone would know who he is. You know, you can't mistake him for anybody. And his story, just shooting up like a star. Um, again, from not, nothing. I mean, no money, no nothing, just pure talent. And he got sidetracked a little bit, but with alcohol and partying and stuff. But then he came back out of it, and then of course he got AIDS, and then that was just so sad that these people who are so talented leave so young. So many. I mean, we can go on and on. Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin. I mean, they're just like 20 something or 30. I have chills just thinking about it. They leave us a gigantic gift and then they're out. I don't know. It's pretty. It's intense.
Well, I think the music of Queen really did endure, even though it was a bit before my time. Songs like Another One Bites the Dust or Bohemian Rhapsody in the Wayne's World soundtrack really lived on
Mhm.
into the 90s, which is when maybe late 80s, early 90s, when I first became aware of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm much older than you, but we won't go into that subject.
Well, watching this video, no one would ever know. And for those of you listening on your radio, Rose is dashing and youthful and um, taut skinned, all of that. So, should we say anything about Mars and this second identity as Mars, or should we just leave that there?
We, we can, yeah. I mean, that would be probably a good thing to do. So, okay, this is a lot of information. So, I was adopted, and my biological name is Michelle Mira, M, two M's. Um, but then you get adopted, and your parents' names, and my name is great. I love my last name, but my first name is just not me. It never has been. My mother's, they named me after my mom, the same name. So my brother, of course, the same name as my father. It's like so silly. And so, the childhood was pretty darn rough. And so when I hear my people call me Rose, it's like it just kind of does a little thing to me, like a little dart, like a tiny little darts. So I was like, I tried to change my name a long time ago, like years ago in early 2000. And then I was like, okay, that's the wrong name. And so I went back to Rose, and then in this past year or a little more, I became I decided to like Marlowe, but then somehow Mars came up, and I went, you know what? I like Mars. It's like Rose, Rosemarz. It's the same four letters, sounds kind of similar. Mars, Rose, and I need an M name because I want my initials back. I want MM. I know it's kind of silly, but you got to go by something if you don't like your name and you want to change it. You got to have some sort of, you got to dig and search and go, okay, what name would I want? Why? And you got to have a start, right? So it's an M name. There's not tons of M names. I don't want to be a Mandy, right? That's not me. So I like Mars. It's totally me. When people call me that, it feels happy, and that's a great feeling.
I really think it's a cool name, and the only time I had ever heard of it prior was Spike Lee's character in She's Gotta Have It. He's Mars is his first name. Um,
Bruno Mars, the singer.
oh yeah. So
But yeah, that's
Rose, I think that's a show. If there's anything else we can bring up or talk about, I want to thank Christina Vo for setting this up and making it a reality
yes.
because I just had so much fun talking to you for the hour, and I know the people listening out there on KTRC will as well. You can subscribe at youtube.com/film talk radio and see all of our videos, and new episodes air
Well,
at 1 p.m. every Saturday. Rose Masterpol, thank you so much for joining us.